Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, I know a few of you have noticed over the last, I don't know, half dozen videos or so, and have mentioned the three-cylinder Suzuki engine up here. Today's the day we're going to kind of get started on it. I really doubt if we're going to get to the fire up. I've got to fabricate a lot of stuff. We're just kind of introduce it a little bit, explain what we're going to do with it right now anyway, and just go over some of the preliminaries that we need to see if it will run. This is a Suzuki GT380. It's, I believe, I think I looked, it was a 76, I think. I've had to kind of get some parts for it. They had been working on it, and I really don't know what is wrong with it. I do know that it doesn't have any head gaskets, and they told me that. So I've got to get, I had to order some. I've got those in, and we'll be putting the head gaskets on, taking a look inside. I probably need to check the flatness of the head. It's one head. And I had to find some carburetors for it. So I've got those. These carburetors are, I believe, for an older model, but they are for 380. And I had one that had a collapsed float in it, so I had to find a float. So I've done that now, and I've gone through and I've purged the oil injection lines just to make sure everything is still has oil in there. And I just went in and I opened up the pump and shot oil in with my squirt can and just watched it go all the way down and fill the lines. And actually I had to pull the pump off, and then I shot it in there and then put the pump back on. So I know that the lines are full. The cylinders probably have some in it because I shot a little extra to make sure that I had some in the cylinders and at the crank. These are just like a lot of the one-cylinder enduro type machines that we work on here. Suzuki they had the same kind of oil injection on their street machines too. And it went right down, injected straight into the crankshaft, and then into the intake port. So I've done that. I need to get in here. I've gone ahead and cleaned the points, but I need to try to get them set so we know what's going on there. And you know, there was just a lot of little preliminary stuff behind the scenes that just needed to be done. I had, you know, just a lot of cleaning and whatnot. I had to find a Kickstarter for it. And you have to be careful over here on the points. I believe it's the oil injection gear, pump gear. You don't want to get in here and put a lot of force on anything. It's okay to turn your crankshaft here, as long as you don't have spark plugs in it, and as long as there's no, you know, something seized up or something. You just have to be careful that you don't strip that out. So what we're going to do now is I've got the carburetors kind of all ready. I think they will probably go. I've got a set of cables, so I'll be hooking the cables up so I'll have some kind of control over it. And but right now we just need to see what the points are going to do and try to get those adjusted, you know, like semi close to where they ought to be. And we'll be doing. I'm gonna build a jumper cable. Let me show you here. We only need these 3 wires going to the points, and you need 2 or 3 hot wires going to the coils. So really we only need 6 wires, I think. So we're going to make a cable. We're going to get into that first, and then we'll get into trying to hook all this stuff up and see if we've got some spark. All the other wires here, this stuff should all be just for charging and lighting and that sort of stuff. We're just not going to worry about it at this juncture. Now you can't see everything, right? All this wire. This is all we're worried about, and hot wires to the coils. And I had to find coils too. So it's one thing sometimes finding an engine, but then you've got to find stuff to make it run. And I try to do that as cheaply as I can. I've got some connections where I'm at, but they don't always pan out for a lot of these bikes. So it's we just have to make do. Sometimes we have to go to eBay and see what we can find. That's what I had to do with the coils and the float and some other stuff. But anyhow, let's get into making the cable, and then we'll see if we can get it hooked up. Okay, we need to get some power to this thing, and I've got the coil pack here. All our orange wires should be power in to the coils, and then we've got a white, a black and yellow, and a black, and those go to the points over here. So I need to make a jumper with my 3 power wires and the points. So I'll make a jumper with a 3. I don't want to tear up these or undo these, so I'll just make a jumper that I can plug this one into that will go into these bottom 3, you know, the black, yellow, and the white, and then we'll run the oranges into this one, and we'll come out and we'll just tie all the oranges together, and that's power going into the coils, and then the other 2 will be coming over to the points. So that along with a ground from the battery to the engine case and to the coil pack should give us spark. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to, I've got some wire cut here. This is all the ones I should need, I think. And we'll just make up connectors that will plug right into these. And we'll just start by stripping our wires. Okay, so we've got our cable hooked up or made here, and it's just, I think 6 wires is all we need. We'll have to add some grounds and some battery connections and whatnot, but I've got my 3 orange wires here and the 3 wires going to the points. And what I did was I just added a connector here to go to my coil pack here. This is your 6 wires, and this will feed the power and get our transfer all the spark from the coils to our points, and that will go right here. So my idea was not to damage any of the wiring that we had. So that's why I just made the jumper. That way, all the other stuff, when we get to a project, we'll have all the original wiring. So for right now, I'm just going to set these up here, and we will just throw some plugs in here, something that hopefully will work. They're not even all the same, but we ought to at least be able to get some spark. Or have something to get spark anyway. Like I say, I've got to get some head gaskets in and check the flatness too. Okay, so we're going to have a jumper here to a battery, and I just put all my orange wires, which were powered to the coil, all together there, so I can just clamp an alligator in there. And this end here will go to the battery, but we don't want to forget to put an inline fuse. And I believe these are 15 amp, maybe a 20, but like I always say, I put a 10 in just so that it will jump in a hurry or pop in a hurry if I need, if there's something seriously wrong. So we'll just hook that one up here. And you probably notice here I'm on my metal bench, and I've got a piece of rubber here, so you want to be careful if you're working around a metal bench. And I've got a few more wires. This will go to the positive on the battery, and then we've got one here. We'll go from the negative on the battery to somewhere here on the engine. Looks like a good clean spot right there. And then we will go to our coil pack. The frame of the coil pack will just go, let's see here, to right there. And that will also go down here to the engine. Nice clean spot, hopefully. So we'll try to lay these plugs out. These, if I remember right, these things have insulators. You can see them here. So these may not ground here. Since I've got to take the head off anyway, I probably will just go ahead and remove that, and that way we'll have it. But I think that is all we need, that and a battery. So let me go ahead and remove this, and we'll just see, because I know this is going to be problematic for getting our plugs grounded. And I don't have a clue what I'm going to do with this. I'm just a sucker for engines, motorcycle engines, tractor engines, car engines, you name it. It's just all fun to me. And when I find things like this, I like to play with them. And since I've been doing the YouTube thing, I need this kind of stuff for projects. And there may be something down the road that we do. I don't have the bike or anything like that. I think I've just got enough stuff to make this work. And, I still want to make a bike. I've got a couple plans here and there, but really no experience or anything. You can see with some of the stuff I'm doing with the Yamaha MX, where we're doing the suspension mods. I've had a couple people tell me I'm doing some stuff wrong, but what's new? I just enjoy doing the stuff. I'm not a racer. It's just fun for me. But if I can learn something along the way, then that's a plus too. And you guys are watching, so evidently you're kind of interested yourself. So I appreciate that. And hopefully we'll both at least get maybe some entertainment out of this. Sometimes life is just too serious, and we don't need to be that way with motorcycles. So let's have some fun with this stuff, and just not, get overburdened with some of the oh gee whiz stuff. So that should be good. Let me find a battery and we will see if we've got any spark. I did go in here and clean the points with a point file. So we'll see how they are. Maybe they're okay. Okay, let's see here. Got a 12 volt setting here. I've got my, just want to make sure that I'm going to put a little tape over my connection there a little bit. This one here just to, yeah, I know this isn't electrical tape, but it will do the trick. I'm on the rubber pad. I just don't want it touching anything. It's pretty much out of the way, but we just don't want it to touch any, the engine or anything there. And when you're doing stuff like this, try to be as neat as you can. If you've watched some of my other videos on the 125 twin and the 250 twin, I think, just try to keep things neat, and that will keep you out of trouble most of the time. Again, I'll put a little tape over that just so it doesn't touch something inadvertently. So we should be, this is the positive side here. So we'll go ahead and get that hooked up. And here's our negative. And again, the negative is just running up here to the cylinder. And then I've got one running from the coil pack ground to the engine. So that should be right. And I'm gonna check real quick here. See if we'll probably get a little spark. Yeah, a little bit there. That should be okay. All right, so we got that hooked up. Let me get you a little closer. Okay, so I'm going to turn the light off here. Maybe that'll make it a little easier to see. And I'm going to crank this right here. I'm just going to put my wrench on that and turn it around a little bit. We don't need to turn it fast or anything. It should just if it's going to spark, it'll spark. Okay, so let's see here. Well, I'm not getting anything. Let me do some checking here. Okay, I'm kind of having trouble getting all the spark plugs to stay grounded. So I put a ground on this one. I think the other two are sitting there. I'm just going to take a spark or a screwdriver here. I think I'm going to hit the middle one there. Watch that. There it is. Okay. I'm not sure whether you saw that or not. Get you up here a little closer. One with the clamp on it. Okay. Now let's, I think this one. Now it's the other one over here. This one here. Okay, and then this one up front here. Okay, so I'm getting spark to all of them, but not great. I was doing that by just manipulating the points. On this one I can just open it and close it, and the other two I was just kind of sparking between the gap there. And let me see now if I can get it. Yeah, once in a while. So we've got something that's mechanically, I think, that's not quite right here. So we'll go in, we'll try to adjust the points. Let me do a little looking here and find out what the points are supposed to be. Okay, got them cleaned up, and I'm seeing them all. I don't know whether you are or not. Okay, working on the left cylinder here, and I'm right now at top dead center. And I'm going to turn this. This is the way I travel this way, so I'm going to turn it the other way. Okay, so you can see the bulb here. It's 3 millimeters before top dead center, and we're just almost there. Okay, so that one, that's 3 right there, where the light's coming on, maybe 1 over. So that one should be good. So let me get set up for the other one. Okay, this is the one we were just doing. This is the left one, and this is the center, I think. Let me get it. Let me get a light and take a look in there. You probably can't see it. They've got an L right here for left, and I think this one's right up here. It's hard to see. Yeah, there it is, right behind the wire. That's right, so this is the center. That's what we're on now. So we'll move this over to here. Going for top dead center here. Okay, that's it. And we'll go back. Let me get the power back on. And we'll go back to, there's one. Oops, there must not have been something. I'm sorry, I run out of movement on my dial indicator there. So that should be, there's top dead center. Now we'll go back. There's 1, 2, 3. So we're late on that one. And that's this one here. So we'll loosen. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. I think covering up my, that's back here. It's behind all these wires. This is our movement. Okay, so I've got to loosen this one and this one. And we'll go ahead and hook that back up and see if we can move this. till our light comes on. I'm not seeing it. Let me get it a little closer. Okay, I think I've got it pretty close. So we go back. Let me get you back up here. Got the light bulb on. We're on top dead center. Heading back down to 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit early. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. Okay, we're within our tolerance here. That should get it to run, I think. So we'll go on to the right. Okay, let me get this set up. Okay, got it pretty close. There's a pretty big tolerance there. There's top. 1, 2, 3. So about like the middle one. So I think that'll run okay. It just, I mean, it needs to be better than that, but I think it'll run. So we'll call that good, and we'll start on the head. I just wanted to show you here. My book's kind of falling apart. The point gap is 14 thousandths. I actually think I went to 15, and its timing is before top dead center 3 millimeters, but the allowance is 2.52 to 3.76, and we're in there in that tolerance, no problem. So it should run. So we're only off about 10,000 or 10 tenths or whatever it is for of a millimeter. So I'll go ahead and pull ahead. I've got to get those gaskets, and I think I need to kind of check the flatness of this. I don't know why the head was off, but it was when I got it. So I was kind of not too happy about not having gaskets there, so I had to order them. So let me get started on that. I've been putting a little bit of oil down the holes. They don't look too bad, but I just wanted to make sure everything was well lubed, and it's been setting for quite a while. Gaskets aren't real easy to find. I got 2 at one place and 1 at another, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, on this they're wanting us to check for 0.1 millimeter, and it tells us to lay the flat edge this way. This is a Starrett flat edge here, so it's not just a ruler. As a matter of fact, it's not a ruler at all. There's no numbers on it. It's for this, and they want you to go this way, and then up on the front. And then diagonal. And diagonal this way. My my stone it's just barely big enough for this, so it would be little short steps to try to clear it up on there. But see, the domes are nice and clean. I don't know what they were doing, so I'm just trying to cover my bases here. I don't want to tear something up. I did have to give something for it. So let me get my surface plate out and just see. Okay, I started lapping it here, and I can see that, we're pretty low in the middle. So maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe somebody was wanting that head, and they determined that it wasn't maybe any better than the one they had. But let me see if I can go ahead and get it to clean up. It's just going to take time, if it's that far off. I really wasn't getting my feeler gauge under the straight edge anywhere, but so it's probably within spec, but it could be a lot better. So we'll continue. But the only thing that, like I said, my surface plate is so small that I can only move it just a little bit. So it's kind of, if I had another 6 inches of the length on this thing, it would make it a lot easier. Yeah, see, it's starting to clean it up. This one here is almost cleaned up now, and it's starting to get the center one. So let me just work at it a little bit. Yeah, this is cleaning up pretty easy. I've been at it probably 5 minutes, and everything is good on the outside. We get a little bit high here. So I think it's going to clean this up, probably no more than another 5 minutes of messing with it. Let me see what I can get done. Okay, got her pretty nice there, I think. Should be okay. Probably took me 15 minutes, and all the colors off. Maybe a little low right there, but you can kind of see the scratches, but it cleaned the color up. So I'm happy with that. We'll get the gaskets on and get it back together. All right. Here we go. Well, let me get the hardware started. And I believe that a torque wrench is just imperative on something like this, and the proper sequence also. And this is how they want it done. I'm just running them down right now. We're going to 312 inch-pounds. And my first torque is 50. inch-pounds. And I am going to go up in about 50 inch-pound increments until I get to the final torque of 312. Okay, so that should do us. Okay, you know, I don't know. I guess I ought to put the cover back on. Let me do that, and then we'll get the plugs in. It's probably going to be loud if it runs, because that's the exhaust we got right there. Okay, so I think we've got everything we need to make it run. I've got to check the oil. I don't think there's any in it, so I'll get that in. And I've got from the salvage, I was able to find the throttle cables and the choke cables along with a twist grip. So somehow or another I'm going to mock all that up so that I have some kind of control over it. But it's a pretty cool machine. I always liked these things. I never really was a street rider, but I could really appreciate the triples. These and the Kawasaki's. Kawasaki's I thought were probably a better looking engine. I like the liquid cool 750 on these Suzuki's, but I'm just kind of scared to, well, you know, if I got one for the right money, I guess I'd do it. But, you know, there's just a lot more to them, and they are kind of a collector's item. These here, not so much. So these are kind of a dime a dozen. So anyhow, let me check the oil on it and add some if I need to. Okay, on these, it calls for 1500 cc's, and it should come out of here if it's full. And of course, it depends too of the attitude of the engine, whether it's setting right or not. But I'll start pouring some in, and we'll just check to make sure that we're at least that full. We'll start out with 500 cc's. So we'll see if it'll take a couple more of those. Must have been pretty dry because it took both, or three of these. So 1500 cc's as stated right there. And I can probably go ahead and get my cover on here. Probably end up having to take it off again, but that's a long-winded one. Oh, it's kind of rubs on those rubber gizmos there. Plugs are in. It's got healthy compression from what I can tell. So I've just got to figure out how I'm going to try to run the thing. I think I might try to put it on my Harbor Freight adjustable stand. Just strap it on there and just see if it'll run. Yet to be seen. I've got to get the throttle cables put together and get a, like I say, I've got the oil. I've purged all that, and I've got fresh oil down there to all, through all the pipes. And I'll just need to figure out a way to get, to split my fuel 3 ways. So you've got all your lines down here. So all those are full and bubble free. And I've got quite a bit of oil here in the line. Probably try to get that pretty much filled up. And we'll just watch that. I'll go ahead and start it on pre-mix, so probably a good healthy bunch of oil in it too. There it goes. The little alignment pin was on the other side on that one. Okay. And I'll just try to get the oil pump hooked up now. Okay, it's missing the little, the little brass, I don't know what they call it, part of the lock. You put the cable in and then push it in and then pull the cable to seat it. It's missing that. I'm sure it's the same as like the 125s and whatnot. So I'm going to have to go hunt. I know I've got one, but it's dark outside and dark in the shed. So I will have to do it tomorrow. We can get this through here maybe. I think it looked like they kind of had probably bent it because I had to bend this cable around. It was all kind of in a circle. I think they had it just looped through there or something. Anyhow, that's just the way things are sometimes. So I'll see if I can locate one of those tomorrow. So we're about to get hooked up here. Getting the last choke put in. It's not exactly easy. Yeah, those things, cables keep wanting to slide back in. But if you can get it pulled through, you're good. Just like that. And we'll get that last one in. Okay, so we've got our chokes and our slides, and I've got everything hooked up to an old pair of handlebars here. This thing's choke's a little short, I guess. Okay, so that's all good, I think. And what I need to do now is to see if my slides are all about the same. Okay, I've got these tongue depressors stuck in the bores here just under the back of the slides. And when I twist the grip, you can see the middle one is ahead of the other two. It's this one, then this one, and then this one's last. So what we need to do is try to get them so that they're all lifting or dropping at the same time. Okay, so this one's too much, so let me probably going to adjust it, oops, here. I must have kind of disturbed something here because, let's see, need a smaller wrench. Let me get some tools here. Okay, see, these first two are just about equal. They start moving at the same time. I know this is kind of sketchy, but it gets you close. Okay, see, these two are pretty close, and we just need to, looks like, take a little slack out of the cable here. So you kind of got to keep resetting them because the slides try to eat them. It's like just a little bit more. It gets you close. It's a starter. You're actually supposed to use the little velocity tubes, but if you don't have those, look at there. That's pretty good right there, guys. Okay, let me get that one, get these tightened up. Okay, I like that. Okay, I think we've done about all we can do here. We need to figure out how to mount it. I've got to get my my little lock, whatever, I don't know what they call those, cable something. I'm sure I've got one. I'll just have to get out there and look around, but it's really dark right now. Been dark since 4 o'clock. So it's winter time, so we don't have a lot of sunshine this time of year. But everything is pretty well hooked up. We know we got spark, and we've got our throttles. I've got to figure out a kill switch here. I'm sure that won't be too hard. I'm probably just one of these wires going to the cable that I made that supplies the power. You know, but it's easy enough too, just to pull the power off of the battery. So that we could do that. But I think maybe we're ready to go here. I've just got to figure out a way to mount it. You know, it doesn't really have a lot of compression. I mean, it feels good. It feels like it's got enough to run, but I don't know whether I'm going to be chasing the engine trying to start it. This is not an electric start model. Not that I'm aware of anyway. I don't believe it is. I think all the 380s were kickstart because they were just easy enough to start. Okay guys, a little teaser for something coming up. Right here, we've got a frame, forks, swing arm, both wheels, exhaust pipe, a couple of different stators and coils, and an engine lower end. I don't have an upper end yet. I'm going to try to find one, but I'm going to call this one RM in a box, because that's kind of what I've got. I've just got a menagerie of parts. I've got almost enough maybe to make a roller. Probably going to have to make another axle. I don't know. I don't know why those things are so beat up and so expensive, but you know, we can do it. We can make it. So look forward to RM in a box. Okay guys, there you have it. Just didn't have enough time to get the GT380 mounted somewhere and try to get it to run. Hopefully the next video I can get things figured out. But we've gone through a lot of preliminaries. Like I said, when I found the engine, it was missing the head gaskets. The head was off of it, and I just saw that it would turn over, and it looked like it was pretty much complete. But I had to find carburetors, I had to find a Kickstarter, you know, a lot of little nit-noy things, and then we had to make a cable and figure out how we were going to get power to it, which isn't really difficult. It's pretty much what we've done on a couple of the other projects already. So I'm going to try to get that mounted, and then we're going to see if we can get it to run. So maybe the next video on that one, I'm not sure yet. And again, look forward to RM in a box starting up. I've still got a lot of parts to find for that, but I was able to keep the frame that I got for kind of helping with the DT2MX, and it's got some broken welds on it, so I'll be cleaning that up and repairing the welds. I've got, like I say, I've got to find probably a swing arm bolt, rear axle, just a lot of stuff. Of course, it's all going to need plastic, but anything that you find that's been around all this time, the plastic's going to need to be replaced, and a lot of the other stuff. I do have a carburetor. I didn't have that in the pile, so I've got that. but I need a full top end. The crankshaft on it looks like it needs to be rebuilt. The rod's pretty rusty on the upper, not rusty, but it's got corrosion and divots in the rod. So we're going to have to do a rod replacement, and of course the whole lower end will have to be gone through, and new bearings and all that stuff. But anyhow, we're probably going to get to the GT380 first, so just stand by for that one. I don't know whether it'll be the weekend or not, but we'll see. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.